we should discuss about one more method in the transportation problem, that is called as Vogels approximation method. So it is called as VAM, Vogels approximation method. So this is one of the important methods in solving the transportation problems. So the same problem I have taken here in order to explain Vogels approximation method. So in the earlier methods, that may be row minimum method or column minimum method or northwest corner rule or the least cost entry method. So we used to find out the least cost either in the row or in the column or in the northwest corner or out of all the cells whichever is minimum, so that we used to select the lowest cost entry method. But here in this particular method, Vogels approximation method, so we have to initially find out the penalty and then later of the highest penalty row or column, we have to select the minimum cost. So I will explain you how to select the penalty. The penalty is nothing but the difference between the least cost and the very next cost in that particular cell. So we have to write the penalties for all the columns and for all the rows. So I am going to write that here. See, here the least cost I am writing the penalty over here. So the first row here I have to write the penalty. Second row I have to write the penalty over here. The third row I am writing the penalty over here. Similarly, the first column I am writing the penalty over here. The second column writing the penalty over here. So how to calculate the penalty? Since we are calculating the penalty and then we are selecting the maximum penalty out of all those penalties, then we have to select the maximum penalty. Then in the maximum penalty position, either the row or the column, so whichever is minimum, so that position we are going to select for the allocation. So let us find out the penalty. Penalty I have told you, this is nothing but, penalty is nothing but the difference between the minimum cost and the very next cost in that particular row or the column. So here the difference between the minimum cost, see I am selecting, I am going to the first row, so the minimum cost is 10. Minimum cost is 10 and the very next cost nearer to that is 90. Very next cost nearer to that is 90. So that is why what is the penalty? Penalty is 90 minus 10. So I am writing penalty over here, it is 9. So I am repeating the same thing again and again. See, penalty is nothing but the difference with the lowest cost and the next succeeding cost, or the lowest cost and the very next nearer cost of that lowest cost. So here the lowest cost is 10. In this particular row, the lowest cost is 10 and the very next cost nearer to that is 19. So that is why 19 minus 10 is 9 is my penalty. Similar way, 70, 30, 40 and 60. So here the minimum cost is 30 and very nearer cost to that, or the very next nearer cost to that minimum cost is 40. So that is why the penalty is 10. Here the penalty is 10. And now again in this particular row, so what is the minimum cost? Minimum cost is 8. Minimum cost is 8 and the very next cost nearer to that minimum cost is 20. So the difference of 20 and 8, so that is 12. So that is my penalty. So here writing the penalty as 12. Now coming to the column. So here the minimum cost here it is 90 in this particular column. First column, the minimum cost is 90 and the very next cost nearer to 19 is 40. The very next cost nearer to 19 is 40. So the difference of 40 and 19 is my penalty. So 40 minus 19, it is 21. So that is the penalty. Similar way here, 30, 8 is the minimum cost. 8 is the minimum cost and the very next cost is 30. So 30, this either this or this. The very next cost is 30. I have the minimum cost as 8. So 30 minus 8. 30 minus 8, so it is 22. 30 minus 8, it is 22. The minimum cost is 22. Sorry, the penalty is 22. Now again in this particular column, the third column, 50, 40 and 70. So 50 and 40. So 40 is the minimum cost. 40 is the minimum cost and 50 is the very next cost. nearer to the minimum cost. So that is 50 minus 40 is my penalty, that is 10. 50 minus 40, that is 10, that is my penalty. And coming to the last column, so here it is 10, 60 and 20. So 10 and 20 are the minimum cost. I mean 10 is the minimum cost and very nearer cost to this particular minimum cost is 20. So that is why here also I get the the penalty as 10. Penalty as 10. Now what is the next step?
Okay.
Penalty. So we have found out the penalties in respective columns and in respective rows. Now, out of all these penalties, these are the penalties in each row and these are the penalties in the columns. Out of all these penalties, now how to select a position for allocation. So why we have calculated the penalty? See, we have to select the position in such a way that we have to initially select the highest penalty position, or we have to select the highest of all the penalties. So here 21, 22, 10, 10. So here 22 is the highest penalty position. That is why this column I am going to select for the allocation. And the remaining concept that is similar to the other method whichever we have followed for solving the transportation problem. So what we do here is we have selected this column that is of highest penalty position, and in this column you have to select the minimum cost. So here I have the minimum cost as 8. So I am allocating to this particular position. So here the supply, here the demand is 5, 8. Demand is 8 and supply is 80. Supply is 80. The demand is 8 and supply is 18. So that is why what I do is I can meet the demand of 8 units with a supply of 18 units. So out of 18 units I am using 8 units. So that can be allocated to this particular position. So here I have met the complete demand of 8 units. So that becomes 0. And at the same time here I have used 8 out of 18. So I have the remaining units as 10. And here I have met the complete demand of 8 units. So that is why it has become 0. And the same procedure we are going to follow here also. So whichever the row or the column where we get 0 units, so we are going to delete the entire row or the column. So what we do here is we are going to delete this entire row. And the first allocation I am going to write in this particular table. So here allocated value in this particular position. So it is 8. Now moving on to the second step 2. So this we have striked out, or we have deleted the entire column. So the remaining columns, so we have 3 columns and 3 rows. Again we have to follow the same procedure. Such a way that we have to find out the penalty, and out of all those penalties, which is the highest penalty position, that is in the column or in the row. So we have to select that row or column, and we have to identify the minimum cost in that particular column or the row. So let us look into the penalties. So here coming to the column penalty 90, 70 and 40. So again it is 21. 21 is my penalty in this particular column. 40 minus 90. So again here 50 and 40. 10 is my penalty. And here it is 10 and 20. 10. Again 10 is my penalty. So here what is the penalty? Consider the first row. 90 and 10. So minimum is 10. The lowest cost is 10. And the very next cost nearer to that is 90. That is why 90 minus 10. So the penalty is 9. Similar way, 40 and 60. 40 is the minimum cost in this particular row, and the very next nearer cost to that lowest cost is 60. So that is why 20. That is why penalty is 40. 60 minus 40, that is 20. And now coming to the third row. So here I have 40, 70 and 20. The minimum cost is 20 or the lowest cost is 20, and the very next cost nearer to that is 40. So that is why 40 minus 20 is 20. So 20 is my penalty. So the penalty of first row is 9, that is 90 minus 10. And similarly the second row, the minimum cost is 40 and the very next cost is 60. So that is why 60 minus 40 is 20. That is my penalty. Similarly the third row, I have 40 and 20 is as the minimum cost. Very next cost nearer to that is 40. So 40 minus 20 is 20. So that is how I have calculated all the penalties in each row and each column. Now coming to the important step. Again. So out of all these penalties, whichever is highest, we are going to select that row or that column in order to identify the allocating position, or in order to identify the minimum cost. We are going to find out, or we are going to select that particular column or the row which has got the highest penalty. So here the highest penalty is 21, 10, 10, 9, 20, 20. So the highest penalty is 21. So we are going to select this particular column. So in this particular column, whichever is the minimum cost, so that position we have to allocate. To that particular cell we have to make the allocation. So here what we do is 19 is the minimum cost. So out of this column, we have selected this column because we have got the highest penalty as 21, and this particular column, so we have to select the minimum cost. So minimum cost is 90, minimum value is 90, and what is the demand and supply? 5. The demand is 5 and I have a supply of 7 units, so I have excess supply, so I can fulfill the complete demand of 5 units. So that is why I am writing 5 over here. I am writing 5, I am allocating 5 to this particular position, so that becomes 0. And here out of 7 units I have used 5 units, so the remaining is 2 units. So as we have discussed, so wherever we get 0 units, so either in the row or the column, so we have to delete that entire row or column. So this column has been deleted since we have got 0 number of units as the demand. So now I am left with only 2 columns and 3 rows. And continuing with the third step.
Yes.
Continuing with the next step. So already we have solved this problem up to the second step. Now the third step, I have these 2 columns and 3 rows. So again I have to follow the same procedure. Again I have to find out the penalty in each row and each column. I have to find out the penalty. So in the previous step, whatever we have allocated, so that allocation I have written in the table here 90. So it is 5 allocations. So previous to that, whatever the allocation I have made, so that I have written here 8. So now coming to the third step. So here the penalty. So again this column. So whichever is the lowest cost, and the next cost nearer to that lowest cost. So the difference is nothing but penalty. So again I am finding out the lowest cost. So I have identified the lowest cost as 40, and the very next cost nearer to that is 50. So that is why I have a penalty of 10. So here again in this particular column 10, 60 and 20. Again 10 is the minimum cost, and the cost which is nearer to that minimum cost is 20. So that is why 20 minus 10 is 10. So I have the penalty as 10 and 10 in this particular column, and so the penalty is 10 and 10. Again here in the next row. So the first row penalty is 50. 50 minus 10 is 40. 40 is my penalty. So here 40 and 60. So the difference is 20. So that is my penalty. And here 70 and 20. So the penalty is 50. So again now the same thing has to be followed. So what we do is we are selecting the highest penalty position. Highest penalty position. So here it is. Highest penalty is 50. Highest penalty position is 50. So select that particular row. Select that particular row, and in that particular row, so whichever is minimum, whichever cost is minimum, so allocate to that particular position. So I have the minimum cost as 20. This particular row, the minimum cost is 20. So that is why I am allocating to this particular position. So the demand is 14 and supply is 2. So that is why I can allocate 2 units to this particular position. 2 units to this particular position. So that is why. So this gets So here the demand is 14 and the supply is 10. Supply is 10, demand is 14 and supply is 10. That is why I can allocate 10. I can allocate all 10, supply of 10 to this particular position. So minimum I have allocated and I have got 0 here, and out of this 14 I have used 10. So that is why 4. That is why 4. So remaining is 4. So that is why here wherever I get 0, so the entire row or the column has to be deleted. The entire row or the column has to be deleted. Now we are left with 2. We are left with 2 columns. So what are the allocations? 20. So here it is 10. What are the allocation? So I am going to write over here. It is 10. Now the remaining penalty. Again I have to find out the penalty. 50 minus 40, it is 10, and here it is 10 and 60, it is 50. And now here in the row 50 minus 10 is 40, penalty is 40, and here 40 minus 60, the penalty is 20. Penalty is 20. Now again out of this, which is the maximum penalty position? So this is the maximum penalty position. So I am going to select that particular position. Out of that particular position, whichever in that particular column, whichever the cost is minimum, so I am going to allocate to that particular position. So here it is 10. Here it is 10 position. So the demand is 4 and supply is 2. So I can fulfill the demand of 2 units since I have a supply of 2 units. So that becomes 0, and here it is 2. Here it is 2. So what happens here? So the entire row, so that has to be deleted. Wherever I got 0, so that has to be deleted. Now I am left with these 2 positions. So 10 here. So I am allocating to this particular position. Now I am allocating directly. I can allocate to any of these positions. So I mean minimum is 40. Minimum is 40. So 7 is my demand. 7 is my demand, and here 2 is the demand, and I have a supply of 9. So that is why I will allocate to this particular position. That is 7 and 9. So I can fulfill the entire demand of 7 because there are 9 units of supply. 7 I have used. So this is 0. This becomes 0. And now out of this 7. I have used 7 units, the remaining is 2. So I have the demand as 2 and supply as 2. So that is why I will be allocating 2 to this particular position. So again you need not calculate the penalty and all those because we have only two cells, and you just select the minimum cost in that particular out of those 2 cells and just allocate the position. So 40. For the 40 and 60, that is the allocation is 7, and here it is 2. So now I have m plus n minus 1 rule. So that is the allocation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that satisfies m plus n rule, m plus n minus 1 rule. That is 3 plus 4 minus 1. That is 6. Have 6 number of allocations, and now we have to find out the minimum transportation cost. is equal to 90 into 5 plus 8 into 8 plus 40 into 7 plus 60 into 2 plus 10 into 2 plus 20 into 10 is equal to this. Yes. The minimum cost is rupees 779. So that is how we solve Vogels approximation method. So this is one of the important method in solving the transportation problem.